Welcome to the Meet Me podcast, a podcast all about our multifaceted human nature and constant journey through self-discovery, with personal stories and insights around trauma, motherhood, relationships, spirituality, and individuality. I'm your host, Michelle Malik. Thanks for listening. All right, well, hello and welcome to what at the current moment remains to be unnamed, but is in process of becoming a podcast. My name's Michelle. I am a mom, a wife, an energy healer, a family member, a friend, a corporate employee, a pet owner. The list really does go on. But I mention all of these things because I really loved the idea of supporting others to own all these different factors and responsibilities and titles that are given to us and allowing them to help create our human identity while still holding a strong sense of individuality. It can be so easy in today's society to allow only one or two of these facets to completely take charge of who we are and what we have to offer. And I hope to empower people to think outside the box or discover new things about themselves and, what it is that they're uniquely able to provide and offer, along with empowering people to view less than ideal or even traumatic experiences as a pivotal point that will actually propel them into becoming the best version of themselves. I've been feeling a pull to do a podcast for quite some time now, actually, and I just kept putting it off because there's already so much content out there. I didn't really feel like there was space for me. I didn't really know what exactly I had to say, but we're officially at the latter half of 2023. It is currently July 3rd as I'm recording this, and I just figured, why not? I've known for a few years now that I was meant to do healing work, and although I've been so grateful for the energy healing work I've been able to do both, individually and through my healing collective, Enlightened Healing House. You can check us out on Instagram if you're interested. We do group events locally in Vegas as well as online, post, spiritual motivation and inspiration as well. But, within that work, my primary focus has been around giving Reiki and providing some form of intuitive guidance. But the thing with those healing environments is that it requires an immense amount of vulnerability and intimacy for the person who is on the receiving end of that. And I thought that this might be something that would just be more accessible for those who might not be ready to receive that kind of deep, intimate healing, but are looking for some general form of guidance, or that just want to have somebody that they can relate to as they're going through their own individual healing and spiritual journey. I know from personal experience that those journeys can be quite isolating at times. And so I hope that through sharing some of my experiences, it can resonate with even just one person to know that, of course, they're not alone, but also that those feelings and these difficulties are just normal parts of our human experience, and how we can allow those to, again, get us to the best version of ourselves. For a large part of my life, played somewhat of a therapist role for people who are closest to me. I've always been someone that people can turn to if they needed a lending hand or a listening ear. And I really do pride myself on being able to support people to see an outside perspective, kind of looking at a situation from a bird's eye view or stepping outside of the situation to understand what drives people and shifting their perspective on how they're viewing a situation. Now, as much as I would say I'm good at doing that for others, I'm not always the best at doing it in my own personal experience. Applying that advice to myself doesn't always go as planned, but that's part of being human and allowing those mistakes to happen. So I think that this kind of longer format through podcasting works really great because I'm sort of always in my head anyway. And so I figured, why not just get some of these thoughts out and relieve some of the chatter that goes on up there. I feel like this could be, kind of therapeutic for me as well, sort of like a verbal journal. And throughout this process, I plan to share personal stories of my own experiences that have helped shape who I am today, what lessons I learned through those experiences, and even shift shifts in perspective that I've received throughout my life up until this point. I also plan to share, some messages for just the overall collective. If there are repetitive themes coming up through some of the personal conversations that I'm having, or, channeled messages that come up through either meditation or through the energy healing work that I do. I plan to share, some insights around that as well. But this will really be all about my journey through life up until this point, as well as kind of through my trial and error of figuring out this new creative outlet, finding what works for me. I want to make it very clear that I am by no means an expert of any kind. Everything that I share will be directly from my own personal experience and, what I've learned, whether that just be through living through it, allowing time to do its job of getting me to the next phase in life, or even insights that I've learned through seeking professional help, as well as in my spiritual journey, becoming more in tune with my intuition and spiritual path through self-discovery, shadow work, getting to know my inner child, all of those great things. So I'm so excited to share with you. And I feel like this is something that is aligned with what I'm meant to do right now. I actually sat down and was brainstorming ideas just last night, and ideas were literally flowing out of me. I think I have a list of like 20 episodes that I want to get done. So I'm really excited to kind of start this journey and allow my voice to be heard. And I hope that you enjoy listening. And for anybody who is listening to this right now, I am so grateful that you decided to expend some time and energy on what I have to share, and look forward to more on the horizon coming very, very soon.